The GameStop Microsoft deal may actually be a lot bigger and more impactful than I think we initially thought. So last week, or maybe it was 1 year ago, I don't know how time works anymore, I made this video talking about this new deal that Microsoft has struck with GameStop. Now, the first things that we knew was that basically in the GameStop stores, some of the people working there would be using Microsoft Surface products. They would be using some of Microsoft's back-end services like Teams and things like that for some of their back-end things. But now we're finding out that the deal actually has another aspect that is probably much more impactful. So we've got this tweet here that says, today, GME, which is GameStop, confirmed that the agreement with Microsoft includes revenue sharing on all downstream revenue, i.e. digital downloads and digital content from any device that GameStop brings into the Xbox ecosystem. GameStop now meaningfully participates in digital. So what that means is, if you go into GameStop, they sell you an Xbox Series X. From then on, maybe it's time limited, we don't know, but at least for some amount of time, maybe forever, anytime you buy something in that Xbox digitally, GameStop is going to get a share of that money, just simply because they brought you as a... Stop. Because they brought you as a new Xbox customer into the ecosystem. Now, effectively, that means GameStop is now going to be much more incentivized to sell you an Xbox over, say, a PlayStation or a Nintendo console. Because now GameStop is, in a deeper way, a partner with Microsoft. For a long time, for much of time, games were physical things you went into stores to buy, and that's just not the case anymore. More and more people now just aren't buying physical games, they're buying digital only. You guys are harassing me when I'm trying to work. And by doing that, they're cutting GameStop out of that stream. You're not going to be taking them a used game to turn in for some money or buying their used games or whatever. You're just buying it digital, and GameStop just simply doesn't have access to that revenue until now with Xbox. So like I mentioned, that's going to incentivize GameStop workers to sell you an Xbox console. You're going to have the leadership in these stores being incentivized, being told, hey, push the Xbox, try and minimize that PlayStation 5. And we're used to this in some regard because there are things like this going on everywhere. I actually, strangely enough, before I was doing this, I was actually in automotive retail. And there were always kickbacks. Like, hey, when you sell that customer a battery, if you sell them a platinum AGM battery, we're going to give you $5 on your paycheck for doing that. This is a normal thing. They do it in cell phones, as well. There's incentivized, reasons to push a certain product over another product. And, Sony's got their own versions of things like this. They've always done deals with Taco Bell and Burger King and things like this. This is the first time I'm aware of where something like this is possible, in the sense that, revenue for a download game on a console that you sold, they're now going to get money for that. How is this going to sit with a lot of the other retailers? Are they going to want their piece of the pie? Are they going in on this action? They may very well. Does this set a new precedent? Does Sony have to respond in order to keep their product from being minimized? Or are they happy to just go with mind share and the momentum that they have and assume that will be enough to keep the PlayStation dominant and in first place? Super interesting stuff. And if you're a fan of, maybe you would call them brick and mortar stores you can go to as physical places, probably good news for you, because you might not want to see GameStop completely go under. Obviously, GameStop has had some negative things in its past. But, look, I don't want people to lose their jobs, and people work there. So hopefully, the place is getting better to work at, and hopefully this helps keep GameStop around even longer. Super interesting. Maybe a sign of things to come. We'll definitely cover it more if more details come out. So until those future videos, stay nerdy, my friends. If you enjoy my content, please consider becoming a Scary If Literal member. You'll get access to a whole bunch of emoticons to use with live streams and a shout out on an upcoming video. Thanks as always for your continued support.